Vayishlach, Ideas in the Realm of Gematria from the Parshah. In this week's Parshah, in the sixth reading, we read that when Jacob and his family left Bethel, and before they had come to Ephrath, Rachel went into a difficult labor. The midwife told her not to fear, for this child would also be a son for her. And just before Rachel died, she named her son Ben-Oni, which Rashi explains means son of my pain. But Jacob called him Benjamin, which Rashi gives two explanations. One can mean son of the south. Coming from Aram, which was north of Israel, they would have been traveling south into Israel when Benjamin was born. And alternatively, it can mean son of days. And Yamim and Yamin can be interchangeable, the Mem and the Nun. Thus Ben Yamin, meaning the son of Jacob's old age, many days. If you look closely at all of the verses starting from last week's Parshah that describe the birth and naming of each of the 12 sons of Jacob, you will notice an interesting detail. That each son was named by his mother, whether it was Leah or Rachel. As the word Tikra Shemo in the feminine, and she called his name, is used. By each son, except for Levi, where Leah gave the meaning, but it says Vikara Shemo, and he called his name, presumably Yaakov. And with Benjamin, there was an even more unique language. Vatikra Shemo Ben-Oni, Ve'aviv Karalo Binyamin. She named him Ben-Oni, but his father called him Benjamin. Genesis 35:18. Why were Levi and Benjamin the only two out of the 12 sons that had both the mother and father involved in the naming? And why was Benjamin's naming even more explicit in this same form? The answer might be found in the meaning of their names together with their tribal inheritance in the land many years later. In the tribal portion of Benjamin was the Beis Hamikdash, the Holy Temple, along with Yehuda. However, Binyamin's portion was where the Holy of Holies was in the temple. The priests and Levites who served and sang and played music in the temple had Levi as their ancestral patriarch. While the Levites and priests from the tribe of Levi served in the temple, it was actually Benjamin's territory that they were on. This is where the Shekhinah dwelled and was made manifest before the nation of Israel. Kabbalistic teaching describes the Shekhinah as the feminine aspect of God, as it were. God is a king and a father, Avinu Malkeinu, and that has the implication of a male aspect, as it were. The Holy Temple is a place where God is unified in a public, open, and visible manner, and can explain the inclusion of both the father, Yaakov, and mother, Leah in the case of Levi and Rachel in the case of Benjamin, in their naming. The meaning is significant as well. The name Levi comes from Leah's words, Hapa'am yilaveh ishi. Now my husband will be attached to me. Genesis 29:34. Very significant when considering the unification of man and woman, representing the unification of God and the Shekhinah. We know of the famous verse, Rachel cries for her children, Rachel mivaka al baneha, Jeremiah 31:14. And they are the words of a popular song. She cries and intercedes on behalf of her children. This is a motherly, nurturing, and feminine quality that parallels the idea of the Shekhinah suffering, so to speak, while we are in exile. The name that she gave Binyamin, the name Ben-Oni, is highly significant from a gematriatic point of view. In Hebrew, Ben Oni has a numerical value of 119. 119 is in fact the numerical value of the word Dima, which means tear in Hebrew, in the singular. However, crying involves at the very least 2 tears, or 119s. What is 119 plus 119? It is 238, and the numerical value of Rachel in Hebrew is 238. May we merit to see the complete redemption and the coming of Mashiach, about which the verse states, Umacha Hashem Elokim Dima, Me'al Kol Panim. And the Lord God shall wipe the tear, or tears, off every face, although it's written in the singular, Dima. Isaiah 25:8. Have a great Shabbos.